Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tanya, and this is my daughter Savannah. Today, we're doing a different kind of video, something that we haven't done on my channel yet before, but I've seen other people do it. It's the Am I the Asshole? So I screenshotted 4 stories, and I'm going to read them, and then me and Savannah are going to give our opinions on whether or not we think this person who wrote the story is the not for those of you who have never seen a video like this. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. The first one is: Am I the asshole for calling my coworker a nosy bitch after she kept insisting to know my husband's salary?
All right, I need to read it. I already have my answer.
I mean, yeah, but let's just hear what they say. So, my husband and I, both 33, have been together since college. Over the years, he's had quite the career trajectory. He's a quant PM and makes like 10 times what I make, and I make a good salary. As we've grown wealthier, I hate that sentence. I've learned that people become nosier. Friends, acquaintances, relatives, you name it. In the beginning, I would entertain the nosy questions, but since I turned 30, I've adopted a take no shit attitude. When people ask me how much he makes, I no longer say anything. I've learned the hard way that giving an exact number can have bad consequences. My coworker, 25, is new and she already has quite the reputation. Very chatty, catty, gossipy, you get the gist. You can just tell she craves wealth and status. She wears a bunch of flashy designer items and is always asking the ladies around the office which of the men are single. Last Friday, our office hosted an afternoon happy hour. She approached me and asked me how my husband's recent vacation to Europe went. I told her it went well and briefly summarized what we did. Then the conversation went something like this. Her: So what does your husband do? Me: He works in finance. Her: Oh wow, he must make a ton then to be taking you on all these lavish vacations. I hope you don't mind me asking, but how much does he make in a year? Me: Yes, very lucky that he makes a good salary. Polite smile. Her: Oh come on, I won't tell anyone. How much does he rake in a year? Millions? Me: Awkward chuckle. I'd rather not say, but it's up there. Her: What he doesn't allow you to give an exact number or something? I don't know how to read English. Me, visibly annoyed. No, I just prefer not to say. Her: Laughs in my face. You'd think the stuck up one would be the one with the money, not the one without. Me: You should learn how to take no for an answer and when to quit being a nosy bitch. It's a valuable lesson. Then I smiled at her and walked away. Later on, I had a few coworkers reach out to me and say that she was crying and left early and that I should apologize for calling her a rude name. I refused. I told my mom, and she said I was rude too to the new girl and that she's young and might not fully understand salary talk. I think she's old enough. Her husband is fully on my side, but said maybe I should fake apologize for the sake of office politics, which I somewhat agree with, but still, am I the asshole? I don't think they should ever fake apologize to someone, first of all. That's horrible. I don't think she is an asshole for not telling the girl the answer, but I think it kind of escalated quickly into name calling, too. I don't think that was necessary.
I think not the asshole because you definitely shouldn't have to tell anyone what your husband or what you make. Like,
right.
I think it's common knowledge that you don't ask someone what they make. Like, that's
right.
common knowledge. No one shares that information
right.
with anyone except for their significant other.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like, also I agree that like she's 25, so she should probably know that by now.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you're 30 and you just kind of called her a nosy bitch at work, and so I feel like just because of like workplace like appropriateness, maybe you shouldn't have called her a name, because it didn't seem like she was being incredibly rude, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think she's an asshole for like not giving the answer and all this and to sticking to her guns. I think that's fine, but the name calling, especially in a work setting, but any setting, that's wrong. I don't think she I think she kind of is an asshole for doing that, but like she's not the asshole. I don't really. That's kind of a I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a toss up.
Because the other girl could really be like really annoying and rude. It
She-
seemed like she
yeah.
was being really pushy and like stuffs, but I don't know.
I feel like just like all of these, it's all about context and what you read and what you see could be
Yeah.
two totally different things. So who really knows? But
also, this is the first time she's ever approached her about that too. So I could understand if it was like a regular thing of how much do you make, how much does your husband make, or if she was like insinuating like oh, you don't have these nice things, or you do have these nice things, you must be stuck up. But she wasn't really insinuating any of that, so I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. All right, next one.
Need help reading?
Why, do you want to read the next one? You
Just
can read the
kidding.
next one.
Okay. Am I the asshole for not giving a pregnant lady my seat?
I'm just going to stop you right there. 99.9% of the time, I'm going to say yes. You see a pregnant lady, you don't give up your seat if you see that she maybe is tired or something.
Yeah.
Give her the friggin' seat, man. Just give her the seat.
Yeah.
She's growing a human. But I don't know the story yet, but if she was rude and expected it, that's
Yeah.
different.
Or if the person also has some sort of condition where they can't, like, you know.
Right.
I, 24, female, caught a metro 2 days ago.
A metro?
A metro? What does that mean?
A train.
Oh.
A metro.
I caught a metro 2 days ago at 8 a.m. after finishing a 10-hour overnight shift at work. All the metro seats were taken, and there was a very obviously pregnant woman on board as well. She was about 7 to 8 months pregnant. Normally, I would offer a pregnant woman my seat, as I myself have been pregnant before. And when I was, it was an absolute pain in the ass to have to stand near the end. However, there were many other able-bodied people on the metro, and I was extremely tired from work. Now, I think because I was the only woman in the area, she felt more comfortable asking me for her seat. Everyone else around us was men. When she did ask, I politely told her no and said I was extremely tired and just got off work and did not want to have to stand for 30-plus minutes. She was upset but understandable and walked away. The man next to me, however, decided to tell me I was an asshole for not giving her my seat, considering I was a woman and should be more willing to support and help other women. I then told him to please fuck off and give her his seat since he had so much to say. He called me rude and ignored me for the duration of the ride. So now, Reddit, am I the asshole for not giving this lady my seat?
Yes.
Okay, yes, but also, if that guy was so bothered, offer her your seat.
Yeah, offer her your seat.
And you're a man.
But still, that girl was an asshole.
But yeah, I mean...
You are the asshole.
I understand,
lady.
like, the selfish, like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to stand. But also, she's
yeah, but
pregnant,
you know
give her your
what?
seat.
If she's 7 or 8 months pregnant, let's say she just got off a 10-hour shift herself. Maybe she's also tired from work.
Or if she had to walk to the
Train station.
and, like... I mean, I've never been pregnant, but I know that when you're 7 or 8 months pregnant, it's hard to stand up, and it hurts your back, and it hurts everything, so...
Yeah. I would not have been able to stand for 30 minutes on a train ride if I was 7 months pregnant with Savannah. I was miserable with her. With Skylar, I could have done it if I was pregnant with Skylar, but yeah.
So you are the asshole.
You are the asshole, lady. You definitely are. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for not clearing the snow from the front of my house? I live in a city where we get several feet of snow every winter. I always clean off my sidewalk because it's the law and the right thing to do. I used to clear off the street parking in front of my house too because I didn't want to get stuck. One of my neighbors would take advantage of this and occasionally park one of his cars there until they had a chance to speak their spot, which meant I had to park down the road. I asked them not to, but they said, rightly, that no one owns the street parking. Last summer, I bought myself a Bronco. Last winter, I didn't clear the snow from in front of my house either. I just packed it down with the Bronco. It was a couple of lumpy little icebergs in front of my house. He tried parking on it, but he got stuck on the soft snow between the icebergs and had to spend almost an hour digging himself out. He tried complaining to the city by law enforcement, but was told that the sidewalks were all I was responsible for. I didn't own the parking spot on the street. I got to park in my spot all winter with no problems. It was kind of funny in the spring. All the snow in the area had melted, but my icebergs made it into May. Yesterday, he talked to me after work. He asked if I was planning on cleaning the snow this coming winter. I said no because I bought a car that didn't require me to do so. He said that everyone else on the street cleaned in front of their houses and that I was a dick for not following suit. I told him that when I cleaned in front of my house, some assholes would park there taking advantage of my work. He didn't like that at all.
Not the asshole.
You're not the asshole for the fact that, like, you chose not to do it because you don't want someone taking your spot. But didn't he also say that, like, none of those spots are taken, so it's not your spot, it's the public street?
Yeah, but it's in front of a house, right?
Well, yeah, but depending on where he lives, there could be, you know, in cities, a space is like...
That's true. But I can understand the frustration of, like, parking in front of someone else's house, you know? Like,
Yeah.
park in front of your own house.
Right.
Or clean the snow from your own place.
But I think that, I don't think that he should just choose not to clean the snow either, because what if his car is gone and all the other spots but that one are taken and there's an emergency and an ambulance needs to pull up or a fire truck or something and they need that spot? Like, you really should be cleaning your spot.
Yeah, I think you should clean it, but I also think that, I don't know, I guess it depends on where you live. But, like, if you're in a neighborhood and someone's just parking in front of your house, like, obviously they shouldn't do that, but...
Yeah. I don't know, that's a tough one. You guys will have to tell me in the comments, is this person an asshole? I don't know. They're not an asshole for not... They're not an asshole for, like... Yeah, I chose not to clean it because my car can drive over it. I don't think that's really the asshole move. Like, I just think it's an asshole move not to clean it at all.
Yeah.
More so.
Am I the asshole for not switching a movie to accommodate my son's friend? So my 16-year-old son Josh was having a movie night with 3 friends the other day. One of the boys, Matt, is new. I haven't seen him too many times before, so I don't know that much about him, except that he's slightly younger than most of my son's friends. Anyway, the movies Josh and the other boys wanted to watch were horror or superhero themed. Apparently Matt tried to come up with some other movie genres / ideas, but was shut down. I'm making some hot dogs in the kitchen, and Matt comes in looking kind of sheepish. I ask him what's up, and he says he's really scared to watch the movies Josh and the boys want to see because he has epilepsy and a lot of the films they chose have strobe light and flashlight sequences. I said, why not just tell them? And he said he was very afraid that once they knew, they were going to try to trigger him on purpose for the lulz. Now, I know my son like the back of my hand. He would never do anything like that. I tried to reassure Matt of this, but he just shook his head and basically begged me to switch just one movie so he could watch it with them, and then he'd leave early, his logic being that if they didn't listen to him about it, they'd defer to my authority. I thought about it, but had to say no because I doubted my son and his friends would agree to just switch the movie without a good reason being provided. I suggested to Matt that if he really didn't feel safe telling them to just close his eyes if he suspected a strobe / flash scene was coming up, and that if he still didn't feel safe, he could just go home. I guess Matt decided it wasn't that big of a deal after all because he went back in there and didn't complain. But when my wife got home and I told her about how the day went, she was appalled that I didn't switch the movie or confront our son about how they were treating Matt. I told her it was no big deal and that the day went fine. The guys are all old enough to handle conflicts on their own. She disagreed and won't back down on this issue. I think I did fine, to be honest. Like I said, no harm was done, and I don't believe in getting in between my kids' conflicts with their friends. Am I the asshole?
Yes. 100%
Yes.
you're the
I can
asshole.
understand. Okay.
For 2 reasons, though. Number 1 being, if he is epileptic and there's a movie on that could trigger that alone is reason to change the movie.
Yeah, see, my point of view is this kid is not your kid and he's hanging out at your house.
He's a guest at your house.
When someone else's kid at your house, you're responsible for that kid's safety. And the parents expect their kid to be safe when they're hanging out with their friends at your house.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that this kid has epilepsy and your kid and his friends want to watch movies that will probably have flashing lights, like action and horror movies will probably have that. And you know that, and you're still saying you should just go watch it and whatever, like deal with it on your own, which I understand, like at first being like maybe you should ask them yourself. But I don't know that I would just change the movie. I think I would just talk to the boys. I'd bring the boys in and say like, hey, do you guys realize that he has epilepsy? Like, that's not a good idea. But like, you're responsible for that kid. So if he has a seizure because he's watching a movie and it caused an epilepsy episode, like, that's your fault.
Yeah, I agree.
So I agree with the wife.
Yeah, I agree with the wife too. Definitely, especially because he has epilepsy. But even if he didn't have epilepsy and he just wasn't interested in the movie that they're watching, as the parent, it's okay for you to go down to your own child and say, look, you have guests over. You should all choose a movie that you all enjoy rather than choosing only something you like and then...
If they're teenagers, like, I understand the part of, like, they can handle things themselves. So if one kid doesn't want to watch the movie everyone else does, that's something that they can usually argue about themselves, and that's, like, fine. And one kid will be mad, like,
oh,
I didn't watch the movie.
Get on his phone and not pay attention.
Yeah, but if you have one of the kids coming up to you saying that he's scared to tell his friends about the real issue and saying he's feeling uncomfortable at your house, you need to make an accommodation for him. Like, you need to pull your son aside and say, hey, he's feeling uncomfortable.
100%.
And if you think your kid is like, you said, oh, you never do that. Like, if you think he's a good kid in that way and respectful in that way, then you should pull him aside and it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, I agree. This person is definitely the asshole. That's like, I feel the most strongly about this one.
Me too.
This person is definitely an asshole. Well, that was all 4 stories that I had screenshotted for this. That was fun. I kind of want to do it again.
Yeah.
Because I like watching these, too. We both watched Dylan do these Am I the Asshole videos, which it's fun to watch him do it just because he's a comedian. But if you guys would like to see more Am I the Asshole type videos, let me know in the comments, and we will be sure to do some more of those.
Yeah. Or just, like, watching Reddit stories or something.
I mean, I don't know what else. Like what? Is there
People
another...
post Reddit stories on TikTok. It's so funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I don't spend time on Reddit, so I don't know. I just went on and searched up Am I the Asshole posts. Like, I don't go on Reddit, but... Alright, well, Savannah's in a hurry to end this video so she can talk to Josie and then take a nap. So I'm going to end this video now. Please hit like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, poopies.